Peace family, Michelle here from supersfarm. So I'm gonna be just trying to catch you guys up on what's been going on here on supersfarm. We just, still trying to move full steam ahead with this fall growing. I've explained it before, but I do not like the cold. It's kind of like low 70s right now, and I have on a thermal, so that just gives you some perspective on why this is such a challenge for me. But I have decided to remove all excuses and to do the things that I have been uncomfortable with historically in my life, and being in the cold is one of them. So let me just catch you guys up with what's growing on here in the raised bed garden, and then I have some things throughout the property that are really cool that I just want to share with you. So thank you for joining us on this journey, and y'all just continue to keep me in your hearts and your thoughts, because this is definitely an effort to do this. So peace and blessings. Curtis is going off this morning, man. So our spring and summer gardens were not that great. They weren't great at all. And, it just really resonated in my spirit that I needed to do a fall garden and stop using the fact that I haven't grown a fall garden consistently in the past 3 years since we started this journey, and to just do it. Just stop being a punk and do it. Some lemongrass growing. The lemongrass is doing really good. I'm going to be ready to harvest that soon. These vines here are sweet potato vines, and these are wild blackberries that just planted themselves in the middle of my bed. I did not plant these blackberries, but there's some sage that I did plant. And for the most part, these plants are dwindling down. I've been harvesting them heavily. This is thyme. That stevia did not make it. Stevia did not like the heat. This is rosemary. I harvest the rosemary very heavily, so she's trying to come back. And there's another blackberry coming through on this bed. More sweet potato vines, more blackberries. Those blackberries I did plant, and as well as this trellis here, so that they could catch the trellis and make it easier to harvest the berries. Now I did plant some peas here. I saw a couple came up, and then something must have eaten them, so that's done. These banana peppers, I planted these from seed, and surprisingly they're doing really good. I've harvested a few peppers off of here, and I've got quite a few more peppers to harvest, so that's surprising. Gumfrina, planted from seed. Been harvesting that really heavily. I've been really enjoying the Gumfrina tea, guys. So these are daylilies, and that's a blueberry there. I'm not sure if she's going to come back. This is my asparagus bed, and it took me a while to get used to the asparagus bed because it is quite unruly. And I don't particularly care for that, but it is what it is. Now here's some more peas that I planted with the hopes that they would catch this trellis. So I've been coming in here and just trying to encourage them to get on the trellis. We'll see how that goes. These two containers here, I have the soil in the front of the garden to fill those up with all of those fall crops that I have to plant. This bed is still just weeds. I haven't done anything with this bed. That tomato plant did not make it. Something got it. That's okay. And I have a butterfly pea vine here. And oh, look, guys. A flower. I need to come harvest that later. They are so beautiful. The flowers are so beautiful. And of course the goldenrod. Oh my goodness, the goldenrod is going crazy. I've been harvesting the leaves. I read something I don't know, a little while ago that stated that the benefit, the like strongest medicinal properties are in the leaves of the goldenrod. So that's what I've been harvesting. I've got some more pepper plants here. I have this labeled as sweet red bell pepper. There isn't anything on this plant yet, but you can see that is definitely not a sweet red bell pepper. That is a banana pepper, so that's cool. Planted some carrots here. They have not come up yet. I don't know if they will. I made the mistake of putting the mulch on top of the seed, so yeah, let me just uncover that and see if that helps. Here's some plumbago. Plumbago is an all-star here in Texas. Here's some giant leeks. I'm not sure if that's what's coming up here, if those are weeds, but planted seeds there. Planted some fennel seeds here. I can see I got some fennel trying to come through. Hopefully those guys can make it. This was leftover spring broccoli, I believe, and it is trying to fight its way through. This bed is resting right now, but this will be my garlic bed. Probably will be planting garlic sometime this week. I got my first seed garlic come in over the weekend. This lovely lantana bed here is just a showstopper. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. It is just, that started off as a little itty bitty plant, guys. This is lantana. Now the green berries are poisonous. However, when they ripen to a blackberry, the wildlife can eat it. I mean, you could eat it too, but I planted this specifically for the wildlife. I have a lot of bunnies that come through my garden. You can see the goldenrod. The goldenrod is gonna find a way. But yeah, when these berries ripen, I think the bunnies are gonna love that. Now, if you guys were with me when I planted all this good stuff, look how much it's grown, and I've harvested a few radish from it. This here is cabbage, and you can see something is eating the foliage on the cabbage. So probably a cabbage worm. These are all radishes, and I have harvested from here. Look at this big guy there. The radish greens are really good too. These are romaines. I only have about 4 or 5 seeds in here that I dropped because I want them to try to get some size. And these are turnips. And I went through and sort of just like plucked out a few turnips to try to give space for, you know, the larger turnip. And I see just only one in there. This one right here is a big one. Roselle, guys, I am so thrilled at my roselle this year. I was about ready to give up on the roselle because of the drought we had. We had such an extreme drought here in Texas, and I didn't think they were going to grow. I thought they were going to be stunted, and you know, that was going to be that. But so look at this. I purchased this from the Home Depot. This is a Mexican petunia, and I love it because the flowers open up at night and then they close up and then they open up again in the day. So this is moringa. This is a dwarf moringa. I've been harvesting heavily my moringa. This is a little cherry bush here. I had a bunch of flowers on the cherry bush a little while ago, but I don't see any berries. Well, there's a few. There's a few. I don't know if that's going to become anything. Okay, this down here is all peppermint. Look how good that peppermint looks. Haven't harvested heavily, but I come and take a few every now and then. Of course, banana there. Here's my roselle row. Look at her in all her glory. And like I said, not only have I been harvesting heavily the roselle, but look how big the calyxes are. I was showing Super, I'm going to insert a picture because I took a picture and put it on my Instagram. But I was showing Super like just how big the calyxes are this year. I mean, they're They're big and meaty. And I mean, I'm just so excited. So what we do with the roselle is I dehydrate them and I make tea blends with them. And you can find our take on the Caribbean classic sorrel. It's called It's So Real on our website at supersfarm.com. And this is a journey of love for me, because my husband is from the Caribbean and I fell in love with his culture. It's probably why I fell in love with him. And to grow these plants in Texas, I mean, this has been a journey for me to learn how to cultivate these plants. And they have loved me back, let me tell you. That deep red, it's real. I just don't know how else to express the beauty of these plants. Of course, the taste of the calyx is amazing. Not only can you harvest the calyx, which is this red part here, for the drink, you can use the seeds to make jams. You can put the leaves in your salads. I actually dry them and try them as a tea. You can use the stems as fiber, which I really want to explore every part of this plant. I'm going to make love to this plant. You hear me? I want to really understand. Oh, I forgot to mention the flowers. I use the flowers in our baths. So I'm just really enjoying loving everything I can and making all different kind of products that I can with this plant. Okay, we're gonna go to the other side of the entrance to the raised bed garden. I got some canna lilies there coming back. Those came back from last year. Huge ant bed. I need to do something about that. Some more moringa here. Been harvesting the moringa heavily, like I said. This rose bush, man, I'm gonna insert some pictures. This rose really showed out. Now with your roses, you don't want to harvest them this late in the season. I wanted to pluck them for their leaves because I do use the rose leaves to make rose water, but you don't want the plant to think that it needs to keep going. So this late in the season, we don't harvest, we just let it die back naturally. Here's a moringa plant. Somehow this plant fell over and it's not doing so well. But the good thing about moringa, she's very resilient. So I just put her here. I'm gonna water her. She'll be fine. And here's a little small patch of some more roselle, guys. Look at those calyxes. Absolutely beautiful. All right, just want to show you guys couple more things here in the in-ground garden. I don't have much growing on here because, you know, I had to be realistic with what I could handle. So here's another roselle plant that is doing absolutely amazing. You can see all of the calyxes. We have a full moon in a couple days. I think that's when I'm going to harvest it. I started researching about how to harvest with the moon cycle. These plants haven't put off any calyxes yet. They were actually quite small and they just kind of caught up. So in the greenhouse here, it's time for me to go ahead and drop a bunch of seedlings that I have. I'll be making a video on that next. But I had a couple of daikon here. I'm not sure how those are going to turn out. I'm still harvesting beans. These are the purple whole beans. So I've been harvesting those, and a couple okra plants. Actually, I have not harvested from these okra plants yet. Again, they just kind of took off too once that drought was over with. Hi, Mumble. Hi, Mumble. That's Shaba, that rooster there. He's something feisty too. So we're gonna walk over here. Super actually planted a couple of these rows. Like I see carrots there. Look like some more carrots. He opened up all these rows and planted in them. But look at these melons. Well, I don't actually have any melons, but the vines. I thought all this stuff died in the drought. I guess the roots were deep enough to survive, and I don't know if we're gonna get any melons before the freeze knocks them out, but that's really encouraging. Let's see. Beets here. Super planted all this stuff. Bok choy. Brussels sprouts. Spinach. That's gonna be cool if he can get this stuff to come up. We need some rain, that's for sure.